Did you know there's several rappers who ruin their careers in very disturbing ways, from committing murders, issues with narcotics, and much more, as Lil Durk threw everything away?
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
4 men got out and started.
It was very rapid. There was no stop.
Word is spreading on social media that the 26-year-old man pronounced is a well-known Chicago rapper.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
Did you know the judge in Lil Durk's case is calling out for Lil Durk to be dealt with, giving the prosecutors all the time they need to stack up as much evidence against him as possible, as it would be announced over 230 gigs of digital evidence, which includes audio and video recordings and surveillance footage, as well as 20,000 pages of reports are currently being processed for discovery, as prosecutors are even using online streamers to help them connect evidence to crimes committed in Chicago. As even DJ Academics revealed, Lil Durk snitched on himself by laying out a roadmap of crimes with his album names.
2020 Von, 2021 his brother dies. 2022, the niggas who his brother, they get clapped. The who Von, at least a cousin of theirs get clapped. 2023, he drops an album, I'm almost healed. You ever think about that, chat? It's like poetic. 2020, Von dies. 2021, his brother dies. 2022, get back for both those situations. 2023, I'm almost healed. Crazy, huh?
That information alone had the judge rejecting Lil Durk's recent bond request when it was shared. His lawyers proposed a $3.3 million bond backed by equity in his homes and cash from Sony Music. However, the judge did grant Durk's lawyers a chance to give 3 reasons why the rapper should be released from jail, and if they fail, it'll be the end of Lil Durk. You tell me if you would release him after hearing the reasons, which begins with Durk's lawyers giving him an alibi from the lyrics the prosecutors claim that he self-snitched in. Durk's lawyer announced in court, in a move out of the YSL trial playbook, Lil Durk's producer says in a declaration in the M for Hire case that the Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy song with Babyface Ray, which prosecutors say bragged about the passing, was actually recorded 7 months before the incident, where the court document had an attachment showing the original project file being made and recorded before the crime even went down, with the lyrics in question being, "Look on the news and see your son screaming no, no," as Quando Rondo was at the scene of the crime, screaming no.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
The prosecutors had a response to this inside of court, announcing they also made other connections to lyrics where Durk raps, "Told me they got an Addy, go, got the location, go," as they would tie it to an announcement of, Brick Baby says he would have dropped Quando Rondo's location if Lil Durk had asked him because he's loyal to him.
Why is that? Then it's people like, you lined up somebody from your hood. Like, listen, I didn't. But at the end of the day, what's wrong with giving my friend the address? Oh, this is my boy. He lost his boy. Who did it could be around. 9 times out of 10, had he had asked me, I probably would have been Coke if he even asked anybody, if this is even true. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, can I leak a bar?
Sure.
I said if he make the call right now, I'd something.
Right.
With those 2 pieces of evidence possibly being the biggest coincidences of all time. However, Durk's lawyers were ready for this, calling out the feds for not protecting their client inside of jail. Durk's lawyers would then lay out the second reason for his release, which would read, sources allege Lil Durk's fast prison transfer was caused by issues within his cell block. Being a high-profile rapper likely caused him to be targeted for money in commissary, sharing with the judge that Lil Durk isn't being treated and protected by the law like he should be inside of jail. They believe that Quando Rondo is sending hits towards Durk as revenge, as they would end up tying it to 2 interviews by Quando Rondo and Lil Tim. Both had different interviews, but said the exact same message and had them released on the same day. Many looking at it like a weird coincidence, but others believing that it was a way for the feds to not target Quando and Tim for getting revenge against Durk. As in Tim's interview, he said the act towards King Von should have been avoided, while mentioning Durk just threw his life away trying to get revenge for a beat beef that they were okay with ending.
To know, like, shit, I was just protecting my little brother.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von who did it, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, shit, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't no disrespect to like his mama saying him and shit like that. Cause I could easily get on that type of stuff and be clout chasing type. Like, I ain't on that type. I'm a humble person, but it's like, they ain't never popped that shit off. That would have never happened like that.
Which then tied into Quando Rondo's interview of saying the same thing, saying he wishes it was handled a different way. Durk has a family with many responsibilities, but just threw it all away.
Whoever on my side, they got kids and a mama that 100% love them. And at the end of the day, bro, all this bullshit that we talking about is stupid. That could have been handled a totally different way. It could have been handled to the point where a song and $3-4 million could have came out or whatever. Like that could have got handled in a legit way, in a music way.
This would end up going viral on social media, making many believe Durk should be living like this, but others believing Durk should be protected by the law. As Charleston White even said, people like YNW Melly, Lil Durk, and others that committed a crime of taking someone's life shouldn't be having good lives in jail. They committed one of the most serious crimes of all time.
Even the YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated. When you done chose to play somebody.
The prosecutors then would have their turn inside of court, not holding back at all as it would be announced. The feds believe Durk paid to get these two people dealt with. Number 1, Stefan Mack, who got Lil Durk's brother D-Thang. Number 2, OTF Jam's baby mom, who passed away after Lil Durk found out that Jam wore a wire around him. Feds believe OTF Jam is the key to putting Durk in jail for all 3 crimes, as it was this Instagram live where Lil Durk noticed that OTF Jam was wearing a wire, where Jam was seen holding the top of his jacket, whispering in it, seeing if everything was connected.
I ain't gonna lie, my whole dream changed. I ain't gonna lie, like back in the day. Oh my! Oh dang! Like back in the day. Look, he said that. Give me the check on your man. I heard you got his head. I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, when I was growing up, I was having a dare. Architect. Having who? I'm having a dare. School trying to stop down. All that woofing on the net, it got your man shit. Metro!
Alongside that evidence, the prosecutors also investigated other passings that connected to Durk. It was shared Lil Durk is linked to a newly unsealed file on a Chicago passing where he is alleged to have been behind the passing of Stefan Mack. It is believed that Mack was targeted as revenge for the passing of Durk's brother D-Thang on January 27, 2022. As in the court documents, they would share these 2 pieces of evidence. The first one being an Instagram story where Durk writes, "For D-Thang, that was posted only 30 minutes after Stefan Mack passed away. Then the following day later, there was an Instagram live story where Durk was seen laughing.
You can't see other shit. What? Tweaking my folks. Hey, somebody always said, it's laugh a con. Somebody always said, it's laugh a con.
But the prosecutors, they were not done here. They would also share a video clip of Brick Baby speaking publicly, saying that you can't say Durk never slid for King Von because they got Lil Pab, literally snitching on Durk in front of millions. As once Lil Durk was just arrested, Brick Baby just so happened to be live streaming. He would then be forced to react to his old interview where it looked like he snitched on Durk, drawing federal attention to his name.
But was this an attempted hit or
well, they can't say that no more.
Then they put you as
God.
Like, who died?
You can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Oh, who?
Federal charges in California.
Nah, because Lil Pab.
So this is about the...
Oh! What? What's that?
But I'm just saying, they just say you can't say that no more.
With the feds then knowing to look into Lil Durk, some of the first evidence they ever found was this footage of King Von jewelry shopping, with two of the suspects in OTF being DD and Boogie, who were involved in the passing of Lil Pab.
Solitary stone.
We just looked at him.
Let's go over there.
What up, bro?
Boss, you good? My boy. Let's go.
They got real in here, man, because he just stepped in. The money man just stepped in.
Making it extremely likely they also wanted revenge for Vaughn, as they would hang out with him every day. This even caused rumors to circulate that OTF members will start snitching against each other and Durk just so then they can be free one day. This then even led into OTF Bezu trying to calm everyone down.
No motherfucker know what's going on, but them people that's in them courtrooms, man. For real, for real. Them be false accusations. Y'all don't even know what the be going on for real. Y'all really be trying to play Inspector Gadget and all this. Y'all just be weird as hell. That's what I be talking about, man. Like, first y'all threw the jams rumors out there. Now y'all talking about Vonnie a snitch, gang. A snitch on what? Y'all don't even really know what's going on for real. My kids, y'all really just be running. And that's why I don't participate in nothing that got to do with nothing illegal. Because of you motherfuckers, y'all be trying to get them all put under the jail.
But then the feds would bring inside of the courtroom evidence that has literally zero defense to it. A phone call from Lil Durk himself, letting everyone know that he's standing strong and he's not going into protective custody, which he is not allowed to use jail phones to do.
This call was from a federal prison.
Say what, bro?
I said, I know you're ready, but if you need anything, you know I got you.
You know, I appreciate it. You know, thought that count,
yeah. Yeah, I know how that be, bro. It don't matter, bro. We ain't never moved our money except for that first time. Once it was that, it was that. Once it was like then, it was everything was his.
Yeah. I feel back to the same. I came up here like, shit, where you from? What you got going? I came too, yeah.
Man, what? The PC. Hey.
I thought they thought a computer, you. Downstairs, they be like, man, send me upstairs. Whatever it is, I got to tap to it. Nah, for sure. Can't go no more PC and come out hanging out crazy.
This is when Durk's lawyers would give the third reason why he should be released, being straight up honest with the judge. Everything is a conspiracy against Lil Durk. There's nothing hard-hitting evidence against him that he was related with Lil Pab, as even a lawyer online would say, and I quote, "I'm hesitant to say they have a slam dunk case on Durk Banks. I think they have a long way to go to prove the conspiracy against him."
When it comes to Durk Banks, you know, so far I've seen one text that says, don't have them associate my name with any kind of flights that they're taking. Certainly that's not a good text, but is that the only text? Because that doesn't, you know, that in itself doesn't stand on its own. Certainly it's circumstantial. But like I said, we have to wait and see what other evidence they have. If they have a snitch, if they have videotapes or audio tapes of him saying something, I think that's a lot different than, hey, just make sure you don't associate my name with these guys. So I'm hesitant to say that they have, you know, a slam dunk case on Durk Banks.
That exact same lawyer would then also give what Lil Durk's release date could be.
So it all depends on the hunger of the U.S. attorney and the AUSA that's involved. And if they want this individual badly enough, they'll make very attractive deals for these individuals. What does a very attractive deal look like? I think they go for the lowest hanging fruit. Whoever, you know, didn't actually kill the guy, you know, maybe someone that was involved that didn't actually, or someone that shot, but it didn't hit, you know, they're going to have forensics. Yeah. So they'll take whoever is the least culpable, and I think that they'll approach him and make a deal with him that'll be the most attractive. And if that guy doesn't make a deal, they'll move on to the next guy. So usually that's what happens, right? You go for the lowest hanging fruit first, the guy that you think will flip, the guy that didn't really have that much involvement. And I think what also is interesting with the indictment is it wasn't just money. They're like, oh, it could have been money or it could have been career advancement.
However, the way Kodak Black threw his career away is very upsetting. Did you know there's millions of fans tweeting daily, every day I see a new video of Kodak strung out, not even acting like a human, is someone gonna help him? Or even, is anyone else afraid if Kodak doesn't get the help he needs, we are gonna lose him, things are very bad. As just this week, Kodak Black became the first ever rapper to tweak at the White House.
So like, imagine a world if all of us was just one color. If all of us was just blue or green. Oh, if everybody was smart, you gotta have some dumb people. Oh, what if everybody was rich? Who's gonna take the trash out?
With this going mainstream, people that didn't even know about Kodak Black are even worried for him. But did you know this wasn't even his worst moment? As originally, it was this new video clip of Kodak Black eating chicken in the middle of the road that got everyone's attention.
The wrong thing. Take a seat next to him. Take a seat next to him. Enjoy that food. Enjoy that. Take a seat next to him, brother.
Oh, hold on, bro. I want to be funny. Bro, I want to join them, bro. I want to be down here.
But earlier on in that day, this was also him live streaming, making it very surprising that his friends around him even let him go outside to the chicken place.
We just got the sentence. What you want to Mac? Got some sentence. Got the sentence. Hey, bitches, boy. Got some sentence. Boy, want you want your back. That's stuff on the mat. Hey, stuff on the mat. Then a bed rest. There's a long nap because she took it out of it and you can't do it back. You can't help.
Making many rappers, including Kanye West, believe that Kodak Black has just lost his entire life, as Kanye West would speak out trying to save him, asking other rappers in the area to come out and help Kodak Black.
Okay, so I thought Kodak was in Miami. I see he's in Atlanta, so I'm gonna flight down to Atlanta right now and do something. So anybody that's already down in Atlanta that knows him and knows anything about him, I know I said rappers and all that, but right now, I need y'all, man, to like really go and do something. Like we can't. I know y'all think I'm crashing out. Y'all, you see me talking, I'm expressing myself. And look, man, please don't. I know I said a lot, and just let me go down there and go help this man out.
But it's what happened later on in the night that confirmed Kodak Black needs some serious help, as Kodak was seen pacing around his room claiming that he is Drake's favorite rapper, which he definitely could be. However, he had a friend sitting there in the corner of the room recording him completely strung out, confirming that he is hanging out with the wrong crowd.
I'm Drake's favorite rapper.
Who?
I'm his favorite rapper.
You Drake's favorite rapper?
Yeah.
Nah.
He always say that, even his people always say that. They always say that. Even when he ain't, you know what I mean? Even when he ain't around, so shit like, oh, no, it's for real.
However, there's an explanation on how we even got to this point, which is very important to hear. As did you know, on February 28th, 2023, it would be announced Kodak Black admits to being on drank, but denies being on other items after pleading not guilty on possession and firearm charges.
I was on the and I was asleep in front of my family house, bro. That's it. I was on that drink, sleep in front of my people's house, but that ain't illegal. I mean, so all that shit is just the process that it had to be in any other mud shot. The process that even though like bogus is plastered all over the internet, then on top of that, it's like, bro, like, I'm Haitian, I mean, and then it's just like my era, bro, like, nah, like, man, you better off.
As shortly after the IG Live, the feds would quickly raid Kodak Black's Florida home. And then while arresting the rapper, they would search through his area and found a lot of illegal items that they would use against him inside of court, as Kodak Black would then hire his lawyer, Brian Cohen. He was able to secure a deal to have Kodak sent to a rehab center rather than going and sitting in jail for who even knows how long.
Kodak, whose real name is Bill Capri, faced a judge Tuesday in an Orange
after turning himself in following an arrest warrant issued for violation of his pretrial release. Authorities said he tested positive for during a random test earlier this month.
What is this? Unjust and not right about this situation.
Black, addressing the judge after the pretrial release technician testified he may have mixed up the samples between Black and another patient.
There's no way you tested positive. We can resolve that by way of a hair sample, and that'll clear you.
Judge Barbara Duffy then asking for a hair sample today to clear up the alleged mix-up, which Black refused, rather choosing to check into the Legacy Rehabilitation Facility for 30 days as part of his pretrial release.
This would be known as the dark era of Kodak Black's music career. Disappearing for over a year while in rehab, his team would release no new music, there would be no IG lives, it would stall everything he had going. Many forgot about Kodak, but this was the best thing for him, as in rehab, Kodak turned his life around, writing tons of new music, working out daily, and becoming a much better person. He would then drop his hit song titled Walk days after being released from rehab. This gathered 33 million views, climbing right back to the top of the chart. However, the success would get back to Kodak's head. He would be featured on a Kai Cenat livestream, capturing off the success of the song Walk, but he would show up to the stream in the worst way, having extreme sweat attacks, swatting at things that aren't even there, and shouting random words that even scared Kai Cenat.
You can't always say it, but at times when it feel good, that's when you say it sometimes. Yeah. I thought your name was Bubba. Hey, oh.
A lot of Kodak Black fans would then give up on the rapper here, even going to rehab, wasting all of the days of sobriety. This resulted in Kodak hopping on IG Live, trying to explain the situation.
Come on, say y'all people like who be on that, y'all be on all type of shit. Y'all be on shit. Say all type of stupid but I take you one person and y'all be so hurt. Y'all wanna like it anyway. Yeah. Everybody else who be coming like on that timing, they ain't got no motion. They broke, they hurt, they something, or they trying to come into life some kind of way and trying to like look any type of relationship. Yeah, I could come in that way. Oh, I think you need help. Oh, look, bro, try to like, and then y'all don't think.
As with millions disappointed he just broke his sobriety streak, making himself look terrible on livestream, all of this hate would end up lingering for the next few months, even getting the attention of Boonk, who would reach out to Kodak trying to help him.
But right now, man, we worried about you. You don't look too healthy. And from the outside looking in, it's obvious that you're and I don't believe for 1 second you just doing for your own enjoyment. Nah, you trying to find something to fill up that void that's within your chest. See, I've been where you at right now, but by the grace of God, I'm clean. Them strongholds have been pulled down, them chains are broken. So I'm qualified to talk about this. You gotta make a decision, bro. You got too many people looking up to you. And from one father to another, gotta set the right example for your son. This coming from somebody who genuinely cares. So if you come across this video, you want to sit at the table, break bread, man, holla at me.
However, just 1 week later, things got worse again, where Kodak Black would be seen at a local football game with a fan coming up to him saying, and I quote, "I love it when you're sober." This led into Kodak Black pulling out his cell phone, going on IG Live very aggressively.
Say I love when Kodak's sober. Change sober. I look sober. I know it's sober. For what? For what? Look at all this money. Look at all this cash. Sober for what? We young sober. Young sober.
He then even showed up to a Baltimore Ravens game, once again looking completely out of it. A tweet would read, "NFL fans are worried for rapper Kodak Black's health as he appeared off while showing love to star quarterback Lamar Jackson."
Hey Kodak, what you gotta say about the Ravens, big G? I love the Ravens. Hello. Hey, what about that boy LJ, man? What you gotta tell the flock about that boy LJ, man? Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Hey, that boy Yak in the city. Yeah, Yak in the city. I live out here. Hello. Yeah, Yak in the city. Baltimore. Let them know.
This would end up going viral online. It would also be the final straw for many in the rap industry. Watching Kodak go down a terrible spiral, it was clear someone had to jump in. This is when it was announced Wallow and Gilly give some life advice to Kodak Black, saying don't ever doubt yourself, you got them babies counting on you, referring to his children.
Don't ever doubt yourself, you got them babies counting on you. There's gonna be times
where you're gonna doubt yourself, you're gonna be in pain, but them babies counting on you, you gotta be here. And I'm telling you that because a lot of people get around you and they see your success and they say, oh man, a lot of people need you, and they yes man you. I ain't here to yes man you. You know me, every time we connect with you, you know I got love for you. Not because I need you, I got love for you because you're a young cat and I was young, Gil was young. Live. And I'm telling you that because you see that love that lady get, you see how you light up when I talk about your babies? Live. These people wanna laugh, they wanna joke, they wanna criticize. They don't know your pain, I don't know your pain. But I know one thing, them babies counting on you.
Trying to explain to Kodak that him being selfish and using the extracurricular items just to get by every day is not only affecting himself, but also his family. According to Google, Kodak has 5 children, while also being the main breadwinner for his own personal family, while also being the main breadwinner for all of those children. But it wouldn't be until this viral tweet that really affected Kodak Black. It shares, every time I see Kodak, I get so sad. That man has like 4 baby moms and not one of you greedy women even care about him for real. Why aren't y'all helping him? You're probably sitting around waiting for him to pass away. Kodak Black ended up seeing that very tweet, where he would end up quoting it on an Instagram live, where he would just say that he's waiting to pass away.
Everybody getting while we waiting on other people too, right? Other people, they don't know how to let time do its thing. Hey, bro, like let time do it, bro. Time is the best, what you call it, whether it's gonna heal or whatever. It's gonna let, you know, let time do it. You gotta be patient. Love is patient. Love is kind. You know, like I'm saying, it makes absolutely 0 sense, no sense at all. To try to approach the situation with any type of aggression. The whole world on. Everybody on. You man on. You on. Everybody getting while we waiting. While we just down here waiting on when we're gonna.
This is then when finally family would step in, trying to help out Kodak Black. It got so serious, this even resulted in Kodak doing an interview with DJ Academics, apologizing to everyone, saying he wants to use his influence for change.
I'm honestly, I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry to the people who I heard it. I'm sorry if you don't understand me. I'm sorry if you just don't like me. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to everybody that I wronged, and I'm so sorry to all the times I made my mom cry, and I'm sorry to all the girls whose heart I broke. I'm sorry to young Miami, you know what I'm saying? For kind of disrespect and all and stuff like that. She accepted my apology.
She did? Then following it up, responding to Kanye West. On an Instagram live, he would respond to Kanye as a news outlet would report, Kanye is a real one. You want to know why he's a real one? Kanye's the only guy who still likes Diddy. I'm pretty sure the feds are gonna seize all that boy's accounts. Kanye just did some real stuff, and you know what? I'm gonna do a collab with you so we can get some money.
Sleep when people done woke me up yay. Kanye a real one. You know why you a real one? Cause I'm some whole kind of Kanye the only still did it. Cause he know he ain't a lot of the other look at me. I'm clean, yeah. In her why Kanye
However, what Lil Baby did was very disturbing. Did you know the Atlanta police named Lil Baby in an arrest warrant for the passing of 2 individuals, as the local news would share?
Atlanta police are blaming a local rapper's music video for the deaths of 2 13-year-olds, and a $50,000 reward is being offered for more information. So far, 7 people have already been arrested.
Between the bullets, it was nothing but bullets, pop, 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 pop.
At least 25 shots fired.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was just a concert. I was waiting for Lil Baby to come buy my tacos up.
This ultimately got the attention of Snoop Dogg, who would tweet, first Young Thug, now Lil Baby, being played by that Atlanta DA. Y'all Atlanta rappers be careful out there. As the official police report would go and read, the Atlanta Police Department is calling calling out Lil Baby, saying his actions led to the passing of 2 young individuals last summer. During a press conference on Wednesday, the Atlanta PD announced 7 arrests have been made in connection to the passing of Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman. Major Ralph stated the incidents were a part of a gang war that started with an incident at Lil Baby's music video shoot last May, where 3 people were injured and 2 passed away, while strongly saying, and I quote, "This team will work relentlessly to hold you accountable," referring to Lil Baby.
The investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence was orchestrated by adults in our city, and cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
As Lil Baby recorded a music video on an ops block outside of a taco shop. However, the same lady that was featured on the news clip told the ops that Lil Baby was there, posting on her Facebook, "Lil Baby's at the taco shop 3 cars deep recording a music video," as the ops weren't even aware that he was there until that video went viral in the neighborhood.
Where y'all at? We over here kicking in. We got Lil Baby shooting a video around here. You know how we do it, that slapping taco. Baby, there he go, there he go. Y'all see him? He came to get him some tacos, baby. Y'all better pull up, cause you already know how he doing this slapping tacos, baby.
According to the police, the ops were not aware Lil Baby was there filming. It was her Facebook video that got the attention, making them all pull up with firearms, clearing the entire scene. But what's crazy is the feds are blaming Lil Baby and not the female that was recording the video. This then resulted in a viral tweet that shared, "The Atlanta DA wasn't successful getting Young Thug. Watch, she will now target Lil Baby and use him as an example for the rest of the rappers supplying gangs with fame, money, and items for street crimes," as the feds believe Lil Baby is supplying his gang in Atlanta with tons of money, firearms, and fame. But with the feds announcing the crime having Lil Baby involved, it answers a very important question the rap industry had, which is, why did Lil Baby close 4PF? Did you know right after Lil Baby's Wham album release, it was announced Lil Baby's new album Wham was a rushed release due to legal battles coming his way. Him closing 4PF was the first sign to this, as it was shared. Lil Baby reveals he ended his record label 4PF to avoid it being labeled as a street team, trying to cut any ties with any 4PF member that was likely committing serious street crimes.
First 4 pockets full had to come to an end. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. When you say of course, I mean, why you say of course?
Because it's all shit that be going on. And I had to start learning that, like, other people's actions I could be held accountable for.
Right.
I ain't know all that at first. You know what I'm saying? I never would have went that route, but I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? Now that I know, I'll be a fool to just keep the same thing going. They trying to make something out of something that it ain't. Right. Like, if I got any kind of control of, hey, we're gonna switch that whole thing up. It ain't even just about the police. It's just period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never was supposed to make my label something that I talk about.
As the feds already warned the public about Baby's involvement in all of Atlanta crimes on the news.
An in-depth investigation. Recent months you've had 2 high-profile racketeering cases. There gonna be more.
Over the next 60 days, you'll see 2 more.
But this is where DJ Academics would reveal everything, explaining the Atlanta DA Fannie Willis has been placing a trap on many Atlanta rappers. As after Academics exposed the trap, it was then announced Lil Baby was arrested Monday night for carrying a concealed firearm without a permit. He was then sent to the Clark County Detention Center, being held on a $5,000 bail.
I need 20 bands, call his number for me. Hey, security, the black guy, call his number for me. Locking me up for a but I got license. Security, I need 200 bands a year. I swear to God, security. Security, I need 200 bands a year. You don't make 200 bands here. Hey, lady, my check leave at 9:10. Nah, check me good. I gotta my nuts. Check me good. You on the counter? I gotta my nuts. Check me good. I gotta. All right, y'all let me in that car. Shoot myself in the head. Y'all fired.
However, it gets a lot deeper. Follow along, as only 8 months ago, academics revealed on stream while showing the literal evidence file of 4PF on the same RICO document that YSL was on.
I've heard two of them. Like, I've heard the two of them. They're like, yo, these are going first, then these are going first. I've heard the names. And I don't know if I should say it. Again, I got nothing to do with no investigation for nothing, whatever, but these are top rappers. Well, one's a top rapper. The other one, matter of fact, I'll do the segment without saying the name. I'll just say this. I believe you know who the obvious name is. They're in Atlanta. They go by three letters. They've been popping. One of the top, I would say, 3 rappers in the game.
But now in present day, with the YSL trial being over, academics was then able to finally reveal everything, as Lil Baby's recent arrest seemed like a warning for a massive RICO charge coming his way.
I'm gonna tell you some things that you're gonna have to take my word or don't believe it. It's fine. I don't care either or. When Fonnie Willis started targeting YSL, Fonnie Willis had a bunch of people to target. She wanted Thug. She got YFN. So she got YSL, YFN. Eventually, they were going to get to 4PF. That's one of the reasons they changed their names, by the way. Except, from what I heard, the feds told them, it's okay, we got it. So the feds told them, like, it's okay if you dismiss the charge. So they didn't go that hard with trying to get Durk, especially after Vaughn died. They dropped that case. They dropped it, but the feds has realized we gonna get Durk eventually. You doing the math? You see why Lil Baby was moving the way he been? Because Lil Baby hasn't been on Fed watch. He's been on county state watch.
The Atlanta DA wasn't successful targeting Young Thug. It's likely she's going to be trying Lil Baby next, which would then turn out to be true, as his next arrest was a clear warning, as Lil Baby had one of the sketchiest arrests of all time, being pulled over for an illegal window tint to then being arrested for it.
Huh? Man, you know why I pull you over? These windows, they tinted. You can't see nothing out.
I'm a celebrity, man. Nobody can't see me. Give me my ticket. Let me ride.
I don't know what celebrity you are.
It don't matter. They give me my ticket. Let me ride. I can't have nobody seeing me right here. I'm gonna let my window up.
Oh, yeah, you good, but you can't have that tinted window, man.
All right, they give me the ticket. Have a good day, man.
Now, who are you? You say you,
My name Lil Baby.
Okay, I just need you to sign right here, okay?
You got a pen?
827.
You don't be want to have these. You gotta have tints in Atlanta. These folks crazy. I take a ticket, then somebody follow me home.
Put a 32.
Huh?
You can put a 32. If you got a medical exception, you can get the tint.
The body cam footage would end up corrupting, leaving many wonder what truly happened in the aftermath. Sources claim that officer who gave Lil Baby the ticket drove away. But when Lil Baby's name was being placed into the arrest system at the county jail, his name was then flagged, to which another officer nearby would go find Lil Baby on the same street, pull him over, then bring him into the county jail to sit in a holding cell for 8 hours. Why many people believe it's corrupt and it was a clear warning from the Atlanta DA was the arrest was never inputted into the document system at the county jail. They left it blank, making many wonder why they even brought him into jail. He had to fly his lawyer out on a private jet, leading into Lil Baby getting bailed out 8 hours later. As with all the recent arrests, Lil Baby even claimed himself he feels like he's targeted, likely by a former best friend who snitched.
And you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped the vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, where an hydrant and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is why when Young Thug was released from jail, the two of them went right after Gunna. Young Thug tweeted, "Wham, let's drop one on these rats," with the name Wham referring to Lil Baby, who's been firm on dissing Gunna for snitching out of the YSL trial. Lil Baby responded on Instagram, "We should." But the following day, Thug would post another tweet as well as an Instagram video. He would first tweet, "Gunna, stop acting like we're friends on the internet. I don't know you," getting the attention of Gunna and his brother. Gunna's brother would say, "Trust and believe the feeling is mutual," but it wasn't until later that night when Young Thug linked up with T.I., hosting an Instagram story where Young Thug clearly says that he's home and that he did it the right way, sneak dissing Gunna.
Hey man, what you got to tell these people?
Back. Back, Jack.
You feel me?
You did.
Hey man, ain't no cap in it.
No cap in my rap.
You feel what I'm saying?
The right way.
It's time.
The right way, bro.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right way.
Yeah, that way.
Yeah.
And go tell that.
Letting Gunna know that Thug did it the right way out. However, this is where the Atlanta DA is always 2 steps ahead. There's a huge issue with this dissing between Gunna, Young Thug, and Lil Baby. As pointed out by DJ Academics, the feds already predicted all of this happening, which is why they gave Thug the plea deal out of prison. It would be shared. Academics speaks on Young Thug getting released and says the stipulations are a setup for the court to put Young Thug back into jail, explaining how it's a setup for Thug to eventually fail. In his plea deal, he's not allowed to be beefing with anybody online or in real life. But the Atlanta DA also knew Lil Baby would take Young Thug's side in beef with Gunna, leading into the Atlanta DA getting both of them dissing Gunna at the exact same time, creating an online beef as well as anything that could get physical.
I know some of his fans think he beat the case. He definitely didn't beat the case. Beat the case means you got no stipulations. The Young Thug thing is a win, but it's also a huge setup. If you gonna tell me that they're gonna monitor him on a probationary basis for 15 years, can't be in Atlanta, can't communicate with co-defendants or members, he can't rap about, he can't promote any music that has to do with what they believe is activity. Yo, he's always gonna talk about him and his is doing his thing. They might consider that activity. He might be like, yo, it's like, yo, we going to the park getting lit. We going to the club getting lit. They might be like, oh no, you talking about the game. So, we celebrating right now because I think we could all see, if you follow that trial at all, whether you're a fan of Thug or not, you can see the pain, you can see this was going through it. Like, he gained a lot of weight. Everybody know Thug was not that weight, so we happy he got out, but we definitely got to be very cognizant of how it's going to play out.
Similar to 2 people passing away would be YNW Melly's case, as the prosecutors found evidence in his lyrics admitting to taking out his 2 best friends. The sad end of YNW Melly is near. Today, the prosecutors changed the upcoming YNW Melly trial forever, as it would be shared. The prosecutor adds 58 songs and 4 album covers into evidence for the YNW Melly trial, including lyrics from songs like M on My Mind, Six Kiss, and Virtual. This all featured lyrics that relate to the crime that was committed against Sack Chaser and Juvie. This was expected, as his trial has a new judge, as the newly added Judge Fiend is allowing a lot of evidence through that the last judge didn't. The lyrics in question are yellow tape around his body, his face is on a t-shirt, and his family's traumatized. I didn't even mean to do it, he caught me by surprise. I reloaded my firearm and used it twice. To then the lyrics, he grabbed me by my hands and said he was afraid to go. I told him, it's too late, my friend, it's time to say goodbye. Obviously, having to change a few of the lyrics, you can guess how serious this is. However, the prosecutors would then double down on Melly in court, making sure he doesn't receive a bond out of jail by sharing with Judge Fiend the evidence from Melly's phone, where he would send a text message hours after the crime admitting to it.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHHH.
But also found on Melly's phone was a saved video from somebody's Facebook Live, where it shows Melly and Borland's reaction to the crime only 6 hours after it was done.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turnt still. Hey. No, still turnt. Regardless of what happened, you already know.
Them being seen not showing an ounce of sadness for the passing of their two best friends. This seemed to work as it made Melly extremely angry inside of the courtroom, as the court day started with, and I quote, Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton has been released from the Paul Reed detention facility as of Saturday, February 8th, after Judge Fiend's ruling for her release on Friday at an emergency hearing. Friday's hearing marked the first time that Melly and Mariah had seen each other in person since he surrendered himself in 2019, as this would end up resulting in YNW Melly's lawyers arguing for his own release as well. And the judge even agreed, as it would be announced, Mr. Demmons has been in custody for 2,202 days, and if one of the state attorneys is not available, maybe the other two assigned to this case could stand in. If all three aren't available, maybe one of the 150 state attorneys upstairs might sit in. This means Judge Fiend is not playing any games. He's pushing Melly's case through, which is what he needs. However, Mariah getting released is not good for Melly, and allow me to explain. As Mariah would acknowledge her family and friends who supported her while being detained in a Facebook post on Sunday. The post reads, "Into my village, thank you to my village. I love you so much, God's plan, not mine," as she allegedly didn't like how this was broadcasted on the local news.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demmons' first trial in 2023.
As Mariah Hamilton left the United States before YNW Melly's trial, as she was ordered to testify against YNW Melly for what she knows, but she would just leave the United States. The feds already know what happened to Sack Chaser and Juvie. All they need is for her to confirm it in the upcoming retrial, and she would confirm that she will testify against Melly if she gets released from jail. As the feds exposed all the findings in her iCloud account, they noticed the suspicious activity that relates to Melly forcing her to not testify, which is also known as witness tampering. This carries a life sentence in prison, regardless if Melly gets found guilty of taking out Sack Chaser and Juvie.
Filing 6 new charges against Demmons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
As the very sad reality is, YNW Melly has a chance of being found not guilty for the passing of Sack Chaser and Juvie, but the feds, they have it on lock that Melly was witness tampering, which carries a life sentence regardless if he did the crime to Sack Chaser and Juvie. As the feds began their investigation on Mariah, after people in Melly's hometown began speaking about Mariah's involvement. This even resulted in Juvie's father doing his own investigation, asking around town from all people on every block, as he even learned the code words that Melly used against Mariah to make her not testify.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures, try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom, and
this didn't end up settling well for Melly, as during his first court hearing back, leading into his retrial, he walked in looking very angry without a haircut. But it would also be this moment where the judge was surprised to learn about Melly's jail situation. A report reads, Melly has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers to be. He's been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days.
No, let me repeat myself. Mr. Demmons has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers to be. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So, how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's up to the Broward Sheriff's Office, but I can, as I said, I'm just asking for, and then I'm asking for at least a day or 2. At minimum.
Decide by tomorrow. I've also reserved all of tomorrow.
as this ended up being the #1 moment to have Melly's lawyers get him released from jail. Here's how it went. Acknowledging the judge was surprised that he's been sitting in jail for over 2,000 days, Melly's lawyers would then double down, telling him he also hasn't been treated right in jail, bringing up an interview from Melly's mother, who stated that Melly's not even allowed to use a phone or even look at his own mail.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
Then sharing a very heartbreaking moment in that same interview where Jamie King reveals that she is absolutely heartbroken and feels helpless as he's not even being treated like a human.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
As this ended up hitting the rap industry quite hard, we would even see rap OG Boosie speak out about Jamie King's stress as his own mother went through a similar experience.
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a.
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
The judge would then ask the prosecutors on a defense to all this, as Melly should be granted at least house arrest at the minimum. This is when the feds swooped in and announced new charges against Melly and Borland. As when Borland's home was raided by the feds, they found insane paperwork stuffed into a suitcase where YNW Borland drew out all the jurors in Melly's original trial. As a description would read, "Here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Borland."
Melly's co-defendant YNW Borland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Borland allegedly tampered with the witness.
This is extremely illegal, as the jurors are meant to be hidden within a trial process. Even to understand how serious it is, here's DJ Academics' reaction.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Borland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
As they would then allow Melly's lawyers one last chance to give a solid reason as to why Melly should be released, they would end up bringing up evidence from the original trial of Melly texting his ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton when the crime was going down, when he was seen on GPS evidence running away from the men on the street and hiding into a bush.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like there's some, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
Proving that Melly was being chased by a car with members in it, as according to GPS evidence, it tracked Melly sprinting down a street, while also sharing with the new judge Fiend that there was never a firearm ever found, which does end up supporting a drive-by theory.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what firearm was used.
Okay.
However, NBA YoungBoy's situation is crazy. His judge told him that this is his final chance because, did you know NBA YoungBoy was just moved to a lower security prison in Alabama in preparation of his release from jail? Even a fellow inmate caught him walking into the cell block.
That is. It is.
As NBA YoungBoy had his prison sentence reevaluated after some crafty lawyer work, as the court sentencing day started with a crazy NBA YoungBoy fan hacking into the Zoom call and began yelling "Free YoungBoy" to everyone in attendance.
Free YB, man. Free YB.
Everyone needs to stay muted. Okay.
Free YB.
All right. Mr. Golden's case has already been called. He's done with court today. For those of you interested. Everyone keep yourselves muted.
Free YB. Free YB.
Free YB.
As NBA YoungBoy even entered the courtroom smiling and laughing as he was able to hear the fan from the outside. When walking in, NBA YoungBoy also had to sign off on a legal form confirming that he understands English while writing his education consists of the 8th grade level. As the sentencing would then begin with the judge reading out the charge descriptions written out by the prosecutors, they wrote that on March 10th, 2021, NBA YoungBoy was charged and arrested with 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, as well as 1 count of possession of a firearm that's not registered on the National Firearms Registration list, as NBA YoungBoy was caught outside recording a music video on a random street in a safe neighborhood, with several of his friends playing loud music, dancing on the hood of a car, waving firearms in the air. An older lady who lived on the street would call the police saying she's worried, describing to the police there is several men dancing around, waving firearms at the camera. When the police arrived, they quickly arrested NBA YoungBoy. They noticed him with how many times that he's been arrested.
So yesterday at court, the body cam footage of the officer who put the cuffs on YoungBoy back in September during that music video, that was shown, and it was very interesting because the cop comes right up to him, you know, whatever, he puts the cuffs on him, and then YoungBoy's reaction is kind of hilarious. I thought it might be interesting for y'all. He was like, yo, big dog, man, what you doing, man? Why you putting these cuffs on me? That's what he was calling the cop. He was calling the cop big dog. He's like, big dog, you up right now. I didn't do nothing. You could search me. I got nothing on me. Cop doesn't listen. Cop puts him in and the whole time YoungBoy's like, yo, man, what you doing, man? Big dog, why? And it really goes to show you a lot about this case. YoungBoy didn't think he did anything wrong. He didn't think that they were going to go and start taking footage from music videos and said, you held a gun in a music video and you're a felon and that's a federal felony and you're going to face 3 to 5 years. No, and it really shows you that these federal laws as applied to kids like NBA YoungBoy from the hood are extremely unfair and extremely punitive, and we need to take a good long look on what's going on there.
But also in the process of the arrest, the cameraman knew that NBA YoungBoy was not allowed to be holding a firearm. He would quickly try to remove the SD card to get rid of it. However, the police would quickly confiscate the camera without any legal permission in doing so. They were able to retrieve the footage of YoungBoy holding the illegal firearm, to which YoungBoy's lawyer made the argument in court that the police got the footage illegally, but sadly it didn't hold up, as it would be announced. NBA YoungBoy has lost his appeal with the feds, and now the prosecutors can use the footage of him holding firearms to convict him.
Update on NBA YoungBoy. He lost the appeal with the federal appeals court. He can take it up to the Supreme Court. What happened? So the federal judge, the lower court, ruled in his favor. She said that the video of him holding what looks like to be a is suppressed. Can't be used at trial against him. The way you guys obtained it, you violated his constitutional rights. Now, the government went to the 5th Circuit United States Court of Appeals. The Fifth Circuit said, you know what, we have a different decision, and we're going to say that the government can use that evidence. It is going to be allowed in the case. Now, YoungBoy's got a couple of options. One, he can appeal to the Supreme Court. I fully expect they will appeal to the Supreme Court. Two, you got to go to the government and say, look, this guy was locked up for a long amount of time. I think he was locked up for almost a year. He's been on house arrest for almost a year. How much time do you want him to serve, and think about doing a plea bargain? Ultimately, you can also take this case to trial and try to beat the feds and go 2-0 against them. He's previously beaten a federal.
As it would ultimately be that footage on the SD card that made NBA YoungBoy go to prison in the first place. This would be the exact moment in court where everyone would begin to cry. When the judge delivered an emotional speech to NBA YoungBoy, it goes and reads, "The judge gave NBA YoungBoy a positive message about him being robbed of his talent and potential due to his addiction, and wished him the best of luck after he's out of prison in the future."
Mr. Golden, I've seen so many times that good men and women who have a lot of talent and potential, that they can be robbed of that potential when they start to really struggle with their addiction. So I don't want that for you. You seem like a very talented young man. I'm hoping in your future that once you're done with your federal prison time, that you can be really successful on federal probation and have a really bright future where you can reach your full potential in every aspect of your life. Best of luck to you, Mr. Golden.
Thank you.
Anything
Thank you, Your
further?
Honor. That's all I have, if I
Okay.
could be excused.
You may.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you all.
As a few weeks would then pass, which YoungBoy's lawyer then shared, I finally wrapped up YoungBoy's case. He got 23 months, but because of the way that we worked it, with credit on another case in Louisiana, he should be out in 3 to 4 months. Then a few days later, the official jail record would update YoungBoy's release date, with it being July 27th, 2025. However, NBA YoungBoy won't be released for a very long time. A lawyer would break down NBA YoungBoy's Louisiana case that his lawyer just mentioned. YoungBoy was wanted for skipping a court appearance for an out-of-state court case. Being out-of-state meant the FBI would be involved, which resulted in the FBI staking out his Louisiana mansion, until suddenly NBA YoungBoy was seen opening the gate of his home and driving out. The FBI that was staking out his crib would then follow him onto the highway, which resulted in a high-speed chase. Once being flagged to pull over his vehicle, NBA YoungBoy did it and went to the side of the road. Coming to a complete stop, he waited for the Fed to open up his door to approach YoungBoy, to which NBA YoungBoy then flicked his car back on and floored it right down the highway. While going down the highway, YoungBoy ran into traffic, making him drift off into the regular street at an exit. NBA YoungBoy would then stop his car in a nearby parking lot, making the chase go on foot. On this day, YoungBoy was wearing designer shoes, skinny jeans, and many diamond chains. He was even caught running in the backyard of a fan's house, who would quickly pull out his cell phone, yelling at NBA YoungBoy to run faster. But sadly, NBA YoungBoy would be swarmed by police and quickly arrested, and then taken into the back of a police car.
You want to talk to us? Tell us what happened, or
As soon as we're
no?
done with everything, we'll take off the handcuffs, okay? But
yeah, I don't have a statement. I don't want to be detained in these handcuffs like this. I'm properly if I haven't committed a crime or done that.
Okay. All right. Give us a second, okay?
Okay, no voluntary statement.
Hey, he's not willing to give a
So,
statement.
any statement, any voluntary statement?
No, sir. Mr. Martinez, I don't want to give a statement. I don't want to be in this.
These were very serious charges against YoungBoy, from speed racing, resisting arrest, and many more. The judge didn't take it easy on him. However, having millions of dollars, it gets you the best lawyers in the game. He would receive a bond out of jail, with the details being,
For YoungBoy out of California is a $540,000 bond. He put up $500,000 in cash. In addition, he put up as collateral 2 properties worth in excess of $1.5 million, and he has to wear an ankle monitor. However, he's not going to be on house arrest. According to the bond set by the California judge, he simply has to wear the ankle monitor, but is otherwise free to travel. This is very big. Why? Given that the California judge found that these circumstances are sufficient for a YoungBoy, why would a Louisiana judge find any differently? The Louisiana judge is looking at the same facts, he's looking at the same charges, and he's making a decision under the exact same federal law. Sure, it's a different court and a different circuit, and the way the laws are applied varies somewhat from state to state, from circuit. It shouldn't vary a lot. If this California judge said, hey, this much money and these restrictions are good, it would be very, very weird for a Louisiana judge to say, oh no, no amount of money and no restrictions. That would be very uncommon. I fully expect that the Louisiana judge on Tuesday will release YoungBoy on.
But here's what many people don't even know. This case was put on hold for NBA YoungBoy's potential on being name dropped in the Lil Pab case or even the King Von passing away case. Lawyers online noted they didn't want NBA YoungBoy ever being free again, placing his speed racing case on hold while they investigated the passing of King Von. As police files read that YoungBoy dropped his hit song titled Bring the Hook in 2022, dissing all of O Block and King Von. DJ Academics then even tweeted, NBA YoungBoy's on demon time right now and he's about to drop in another tape. O Block rapper Lil Reese responded, that ain't no demon time, he's just rapping like the rest of these rappers all rap, confirming there was a strong beef between NBA YoungBoy and people from O Block. Even NLE Choppa responded saying I stamped that, meaning it was a worldwide beef. NBA YoungBoy even confirmed it by dropping his hit song Know Like I Know, rapping the lyrics, I bet your mama be destroyed when we send you to God for making those statements, choosing sides about my beef with them boys, I guess you could say I was your favorite. As when NBA YoungBoy was arrested just a year ago, at that time, NLE Choppa released a song titled Free YoungBoy. Then, after YoungBoy sneak dissed him back, he then changed his title to just YoungBoy. As NLE Choppa then even went on an Academics podcast to share this.
He's not able to defend his name, bro, and it be a lot going on within his name about him when, to me, bro, he a real stand-up dude, and it was just unfortunate how it happened. Like, he came to a person as a man.
Then following it up with an interview with DJ Vlad.
When you heard that, what'd you think?
It was funny to me. I feel like, it's not serious when it hit the net. It's funny. It's just entertainment to me.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. Good song. Nice bars.
But here's where it gets scary. As when JayDaYoungan passed away, many looked at it like NBA YoungBoy and his crew was responsible. This even also gave the feds the idea that YoungBoy is putting money on a lot of rappers' heads that he doesn't get along with. As at first, JayDaYoungan and NBA YoungBoy were cool. We even saw them talk in a DJ Vlad interview where Jay said this.
Me and YoungBoy, soon we will be making music together. I'm a fan of YoungBoy music. Yeah, we gonna collaborate pretty soon and put on for our state, because when we do, I feel like this is gonna be one of the hardest collaborations ever.
But not long after, the two would drop their collab song titled Up With Me. Then the two eventually fell out after JayDaYoungan shared a snippet of an unreleased YoungBoy song on Instagram, where YoungBoy responded in the comments, delete this now, I don't even know how you got my song. Jay then spoke on the situation weeks later, saying he's not gonna take disrespect from anyone.
I'm a real and I stand on everything, you hear me? Ain't no gonna play with me, ain't gonna disrespect me.
He then followed up speaking on NBA YoungBoy with his song titled 38K, where he would say, you put that comment on my post, they laughed about it, but I was laughing when your baby mama was on me. Where there was photos of JayDaYoungan linking up with one of NBA YoungBoy's baby moms, but in return, YoungBoy allegedly tried to catch JayDaYoungan lacking in the street. Right after the altercation was done, YoungBoy then recorded,
you be hiding. We real headhunters, man. Come on, man. Open their mouth, came to what they was, man. Oh.
As according to the feds, when they do their own investigation, it seemed as if every rapper that NBA YoungBoy beefed with would then ultimately sadly pass away, making them have to investigate further to see what truly goes on. However, a rapper who just lost his life due to his court case is K-Flock, because did you know K-Flock's own gang member is snitching against him in his trial? It would be announced Bronx drill rapper K-Flock reportedly used a firearm against someone who used one against his friend in 2020. Today, that friend then testified against him. The snitch's name is Brockington, otherwise known on the street as Dougie, not the rapper Dougie B. But Dougie was arrested for selling. He took a plea deal and threw K-Flock right under the rug. The prosecutors would ask Dougie, after you got hit, who called you into the hospital? Brockington, aka Dougie, said, KK called. He said, you know we got you, bro, referring to K-Flock, telling him that they're gonna retaliate against whoever hit Brockington that day. Prosecutors ask, they hit them up in a retaliation for you? Brockington says, someone was grazed in the face. Prosecutors ask, did you see the defendant, aka K-Flock, with a firearm? Brockington Pilkington says yes, and he was arguing on live with somebody. This lines up perfectly with the passing of Oscar Hernandez, which seals the deal on K-Flock. Because on December 23rd, 2021, K-Flock was charged with the passing of Oscar Hernandez, where he was seen walking down a sidewalk in New York City with two other individuals. He was wearing a blue coat, shiesty mask, and designer jeans. While walking in his own territory, he was on IG Live having a yelling match against a rival op. Before turning onto the corner of the op's block, he would quickly then end his IG Live, putting his phone away and placing his hands in his pocket. K-Flock would walk past a barber shop where Oscar Hernandez would notice him due to the designer outfit he was flexing earlier on that day. Once K-Flock passed the shop, Oscar would run out yelling at him saying, "What are you looking at?" With Oscar and K-Flock having a history, the two would have a huge argument, shouting back and forth. Once the conversation was over, Oscar Hernandez was then seen looking like he was grabbing at something in his pocket. This led into K-Flock pulling a firearm from out of his, to which Oscar would then turn his back trying to run away. K-Flock would whip it out, use his firearm against Oscar, hitting Oscar multiple times as he tried running away. Once Flock stopped firing, he would quickly flee the scene, leaving Oscar laying in the sidewalk by himself. Luckily for Oscar, witnesses at the scene would call 911 in an attempt to save his life, where paramedics would arrive to the scene, transferring him to a local nearby hospital where he unfortunately passed away. All that was left at the scene were shell casings and Oscar's slides that he were wearing on that day. The NYPD had no idea what occurred for 24 hours. They collected security footage, they collected statements from witnesses at the scene. No one knew who the masked man was, but it was when the NYPD turned to the public for help. They would post this photo of the suspect online, asking for any sort of help identifying this individual. Unfortunately for K-Flock, only an hour after the crime was committed, he was flexing this designer outfit on IG Live in front of 10,000 people. This is when fans started noticing, tagging K-Flock, telling the feds that this was K-Flock. During his last remaining hours as a free man, he would then hire one of the best lawyers in the game, meeting up with him and walking into the NYPD 30 precinct together. His lawyer would then release a statement. Yesterday, I accompanied Kevin as he self-surrendered to detectives in the 30th precinct. Arrangements were made immediately with the NYPD once I learned that he was wanted. As to the charges against him, we have begun our own investigation into the allegation. We will address bail once we have had a chance to review the case further, as K-Flock's lawyer was then given all of the evidence, and he would quickly believe that K-Flock was acting in self-defense, as Oscar reached for his firearm first.
When the guy hits the ground and is found, he's got a loaded that was in his pocket that his hand was on at the time. You know, we consider that to be self-defense.
So he did heat him in self-defense.
That's what the allegation is. You know, I don't want to talk too much about the details of the case, but the government claims that he pulled the, but at the same time, the person that was on the ground had his hand on a illegal loaded.
Okay. So without saying too much, you're arguing obviously self-defense.
That could be one of the arguments, self-defense. And I would say to the public, you know, somebody's walking up to you with a loaded, it's pretty clear is going to use it, with a criminal record a mile long. Do you want to get or do you not want to?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't hesitate to pull the.
Shortly after, the NYPD released their statement, as they believe the incident was a result of a long-time beef between two street teams, mostly due to K-Flock's long-term affiliation with the Bronx-based Third Side Street team. It's on record that Flock was heavily involved in street-related acts within his time in the free world. Being a huge-name figure, he had lots of control on situations, but it also made him a target when his ops would want to retaliate. This ended up destroying his name in the rap industry. Not having many pre-recorded songs, it would lead into his best friend B-Love going on an interview.
Okay, but so I saw some fans who were off at both me and academics after K-Flock got locked up because well, just because I guess, like, you know, in our tone when we talked about it, you know, it might have seemed like we were being a little too presumptuous. But is that weird for you? Because I'm sure you see people all the way from rappers to whoever acting like, you know, your boy is just done and he's cooked in this situation.
I ain't gonna lie, people
Especially people that don't even be knowing, like, y'all don't even know what's going on, bro.
Yeah. But did you know that Flock's lawyer announcing how positive he is that it was a self-defense claim made K Flock start crying inside of the courtroom, as he would even hop on a call from his jail cell with rapper Top 5.
Talk to them, Flock. Talk to them, my dog. Soon come home, man. You got these little boys walking around with no jewels, Flock. They need you. They need you, Flock.
This even resulted in other rappers reacting to K Flock's case in support of the New York rapper.
What's it like for you watching the K Flock thing happen? That's crazy. Next big artist coming out of New York.
I love Flock, so I like that. That's my guy.
Okay.
But you know, I'm wishing him the best right now, you know what I'm saying? And you know, for the alleged charges they pushing on him, you know what I'm saying? I'm wishing his family the best. I'm wishing the whole team the best and everything, you know what I'm saying? And I hope he beat them alleged charges, you know what I'm saying? Because he got a lot of future brightness he got, and I hope, you know what I'm saying?
That would be a sad story if that's the end of the
we ain't gonna think like that, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta stay positive.
But with K Flock's lawyer building up a self-defense argument for the case, it got a lot worse for Flock with the announcement of K Flock was indicted by a federal grand jury for multiple new racketeering conspiracy charges, also known as RICO, making hip-hop creators react saying, quote, K Flock just caught a RICO, it's really over. To even academics saying, the feds just unsealed an indictment on K Flock for a RICO charge, the mandatory minimum if he doesn't beat those charges or snitch is life inside of prison. He is also facing state charges that have him locked up. Pray for him. This relates perfectly to what rap OG Boosie said about YNW Melly. When the feds want you, they're gonna do anything to get you. As K Flock's lawyer was right, he had a good chance of beating the Oscar Hernandez case due to self-defense, so they just slapped his name into a RICO to make sure they get him.
When they want you, they want you. I knew they wanted him bad when they waited for that law to get passed. So it'd be 8-4.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, they waited all the way till that law got passed to take him to trial.
Yeah, he was in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, they could have been took you to trial.
You're right.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial a couple months later. When they want you, man. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a fucking mistrial.
Flock's lawyer would then react to the RICO charge, saying, quote, we're not surprised by the federal charges as we have been defending Kevin's state charges for over a year now. Considering the incident was a clear act of self-defense, it wasn't a strong charge, but now it's being used as a basis for a possible penalty charge is extraordinary. On video, it's crystal clear that Kevin was about to be affected after attempting to walk away from Oscar. Kevin then used his item to defend himself from another armed gang member who was about to pull his item out of his pocket. But little did K Flock's lawyers know, the feds, they don't have much on him. As the first day of the trial, it would be announced, day one of K Flock's trial is over. Initial thoughts are the prosecutors are not ready. They're stuttering many words, they're not answering the judge's questions, and they're not supplying evidence to defend K Flock's lawyer's defense. They also noted Flock looked emotional at the end of his trial day. Being his first trial, it makes sense, but his lawyer allegedly whispered in his ear, they're gonna win this case. So much so that Flock's legal team shared a message of him in jail.
I know what's going on, man. Flock, I know something you, man. Like, leave me to the guys, man. Hey, yo, like, I'll be back real soon. Shout out to my fans and my supporters, man. I love all y'all, man. For all of you out there, violence, man. For me, and do what y'all supposed to do, man. For me, get through life correctly, man. Like, get money.
But what Tekashi 6ix9ine did will never be forgotten.
Say the King of New York is back tomorrow, April 15th. Listen, you know I don't address nothing. I'm never gonna address nothing. Y'all believe what y'all want to believe. That's a half a ticket right there. If you don't got this watch right here, this watch, over $500,000, why we can't beef?
Priority towing, the biggest in the city.
Gotcha.
Got a traffic warrant.
So you taking me to jail for a traffic warrant?
Yes, sir.
You appeared, bro. You didn't show up before. I didn't know that.
The life and music career of 6ix9ine is officially over after he recently made a tragic mistake. While driving home from allegedly recording music, 6ix9ine would be pulled over by the police. He would be arrested right in the middle of the street.
Step out the car for a second. And look.
One for what?
Lock your fingers. Spread your legs for me. Spread your legs wider than that. Tell me what though? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
While sitting in the holding cell, his luxury vehicles worth millions would be all towed away from his parking lot, including his $2.5 million mansion, all being raided by the feds at once.
Hey, 6ix9ine, boy, come get your shit, boy.
Lambo got repo.
Hey, I can say I drove 6ix9ine car. I got you. Hold on, I got you. Hold on. Yo, I got you, my boy. 6ix9ine, come get your shit, boy. What is that? Priority Towing, baby. The biggest in the city. This is a commercial right here. Priority Towing, the biggest in the city. Gotcha. Ah! Y'all flag him, man. Damn, 6ix9ine.
With a recent IRS statement claiming that 6ix9ine owes out more than $22.4 million, this is the complete opposite from 2017, when he originally signed his breakthrough record deal for $7.5 million. But this left fans even commenting, 6ix9ine was undefeated in 2017, everything he released became an instant hit and no one can deny it. But after 6ix9ine ratted in his case involving 9 Trey, his music career would take a massive nosedive. This was before being revived again with his hit song Gooba fresh out of jail. However, it was this moment after the song's release where the feds would begin pocket watching Tekashi 6ix9ine, looking deeper into his online presence, noticing this man has quite a lot of money.
Let me take all this jewelry off. I don't give my old jewelry back to get new jewelry. This is $500,000. $500,000. Look at the diamonds in them teeth. And nobody got this watch. Well, I think like 2 people got it, but if you don't got this watch, we can't beef. Me and you are not in the same bracket at all. If you don't got this watch right here, this watch right here, this watch, over $500,000, why we can't beef? I broke the YouTube. I'm at 5 million views in 1 hour. Y'all can't even get 100,000 views. Listen, we can't beef. There's no beef. I'm the king. Y'all know this.
He would continuously flex in front of millions, his new diamond chains, his watches, cars, everything you can think of, and it all ended out aging terribly. Those exact chains and watches are now up for auction that you yourself can go buy. It would be announced today, the IRS will auction off most of Tekashi 6ix9ine's jewelry, music plaques, and designer bags in March, as the official IRS auction page shows the jewelry pieces owned by 6ix9ine, like the diamond Bruce the Shark piece, being listed at a $63,000 starting bid, with even his famous water park chain being listed for $36,000 as the beginning. However, it gets a lot worse from here. But when you scroll even further, you notice 6ix9ine's music plaques are also being auctioned off. Starting at $1,000, it really puts the perspective into your mind of how much money this man truly owes.
In some crazy news, 6ix9ine's most valuable possessions are for auction from the IRS. I mean, we're talking about some of his most iconic chains, even his famous grills. They're only going right now for $1,900. That's insane. We have the jigsaw chain and the spinner shark chain. Those ones price, but we even have some of his bags, and all of his plaques are for sale too. Call me crazy, but some of these prices aren't even that bad. Like 10 karat white gold grills for $1,200, estimated worth $3,000 to $5,000. I mean, like, if you're about that flip life, this might be for you.
With this going viral online, 6ix9ine would then even respond on his Instagram, writing, and I quote, "1 year ago, I was stuck in RD for 8 months. The feds made a raid for the entire house because I did not report my income for 4 years. And for them, it was seen how I was running and hiding in the Dominican Republic. But the reality is, I could not leave and get back into the United States." There would then be 2 videos listed online by the IRS themselves showcasing why they were starting to investigate Tekashi 6ix9ine. The first footage being bank vault footage of 6ix9ine having over $1 million in US cash sitting in a bank vault with multiple levels in the safe, also showing diamond jewelry. to then the famous video of 6ix9ine first getting into the Dominican Republic at his brand new mansion where he would order all of his supercars to be delivered, where he would then flex in front of millions, 500,000, alongside multiple Richard Mille watches.
Say the King of New York is back tomorrow, April 15th. Listen, you know I don't address nothing. I'm never gonna address nothing. Y'all believe what y'all wanna believe. That's a half a ticket right there. You got one house right here, 2 houses right here, 3 houses right here, 4 houses right here, 5 houses right here, maybe 2 houses right there, you feel me?
6ix9ine would not do the traditional 4 to 5 year music deal. He would do it by each album. All the record labels that he signed to would then submit their own forms to the IRS, showcasing who they just sent $10 million to, as they are deducting it from their own tax end, making 6ix9ine a very easy target by the IRS. But what rappers tend to forget is that social media is also a digital footprint, similar to Lil Durk, who recently rapped on a song, "Look on the news and see your son screaming no, no," as he dissed Quando Rondo for screaming when his best friend passed at the hands of Durk's own goons.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
However, 6ix9ine knew that this was all coming. This is why he's been laying low for the last 4 years, as he also snitched on rappers without you even knowing. When trying to keep his music career alive in 2021, he would make fun of King Von for passing away. This led into 600 Breezy telling him that he would be dealt with on an IG Live, to which he then got arrested.
Iowa Department of Corrections, right? When they say violation, February 22nd, 21, right? What did that do that say, bro? It say y'all 6'9", right? You feel me? You see they try how much time they try to give me, right? You gonna go to jail. I just went to jail for saying something. Come on, bro. This real, like, come on. I can't make this up. I can't print.
As 600 Breezy shared the paperwork from the county jail that he sat in for several months due to 6ix9ine snitching. It would read, he posted a video saying he was going to go after rapper 6ix9ine and had a firearm posted on social media with an extended. But this wasn't the only rapper that 6ix9ine snitched on, as 42 Dugg was caught in the same trap.
Did the back and forth between 42 Dugg and Tekashi 6ix9ine cause the feds to escalate their pursuit of 42 Dugg? I would actually say absolutely yes. Let me explain this to you. March 12th is when 42 Dugg was supposed to report to the federal prison. It wasn't until April 29th that the feds actually went out and started looking for him. What happened on April 26th and April 27th? The Dugg and Tekashi 6ix9ine internet exchange about starting a boxing.
As 42 Dugg was telling 6ix9ine to pull up on some real gang members rather than dissing Lil Durk's twin, Lil Perkio. Having snitched on 2 rappers in 2022, he would lay low for a couple of years, trying to avoid being labeled as a snitch again in the music industry and having his entire career completely gone. However, this has now led into his new sad reality, as he would also be hiding something from the world until it was discovered today. 6ix9ine was sued for $11 million in a lawsuit from a 2018 robbery that he was involved in. The robbery in 2018 begins with members of 9 Trey and Tekashi 6ix9ine scouting out and following 2 individuals named Sakitha Wanzir and Kevin Dozier. The 2 individuals were robbed by members of 9 Trey with the use of firearms. Meanwhile, 6ix9ine's job was to film the entire incident from a nearby SUV from across the street. Ironically, while 6ix9ine was filming the robbery, fans were recording 6ix9ine, which almost seems like karma for all of the rappers that 6ix9ine has snitched on, as in the civil lawsuit, they would use this footage to make him guilty. 6ix9ine would then have his chance to tell his story. Him and his lawyer would walk up and admit into the courtroom that he's flat out broke. In the documents it read, "My present income supports myself, my 2 children, their mother, my mother, and my brother. My accountant, Justin, knows exactly what my existing assets and sources of income are, and I rely upon my accountant for providing this court with that accurate information under a separate declaration submitted along with the pre-inquest submissions. Right now, I am struggling to make ends meet. I do not know if I will ever command the kind of advances I was paid before my arrest and career stalled," which confirms that 6ix9ine laid low when snitching on 600 Breezy and 42 Dugg, as he did not want his music career being completely gone. But it continues to read, "If the court awards the damages sought by plaintiffs at the inquest, it will surely bankrupt me in a way from from which I will never recover, and the hardship of all of my family members who rely upon me. Signed, Daniel Hernandez, otherwise known as Tekashi 6ix9ine. A side note would read from Justin, the Gummo rapper's net worth is technically less than zero, meaning 6ix9ine is absolutely broke, while also giving the judge a payment structure on how his income works. 6ix9ine would only sign record deal advancements. This means when he signed each deal, he was really just money hungry, wanting an upfront check, and did not care about taking a little less upfront to keep some royalties from his music coming in every single month, which would be passive good income. However, he didn't want it. It even got so bad that 6ix9ine was spotted on a Spirit Airlines flight where a viral photo would go around of 6ix9ine flying economy to New York. Wearing a famous shiesty mask, the fan on the flight would share the economy seats was $80 and he was flying with him and his girlfriend. But like the video, if you are richer than 6ix9ine.